We're now going to have a quick look at probabilities and using our understanding of the probability scale, realising that all the possible outcomes that we might have must always add up to 1. But let me give you an example. Remember when we talked about the probability line 0 to 1, 0 meaning impossible and 1 is certain. So if I said to you, I've got a coin and I'm going to flip it, what are my two options? Well, option 1, it could be a head, and the probability of landing as a head we know is a half. Now what's my only other option? Well, my only other option is it lands as a tail. So if I put the tail there, then that we know that the tail is a half. So it can only be a head or a tail, can't it? So if I add both of those together, I know for certain it's got to be a head or a tail, and therefore a half added to a half gives me the fact that it's certain it's going to be one or the other for certain. It can't be anything else, can it? Okay, so this is our probability adding to 1. Let me give you another quick example that crops up quite frequently. So for instance, this might be you're waiting at a bus stop, and what are the probabilities that could occur? Well, we could say the bus could come early, it could come on time, or it might be late. Okay, so really what we're saying is there aren't other options other than those three things. Now we might be presented with something like this. The probability of the bus coming early is 0.3. The probability of it coming on time is 0.5. And a question might be posed to us that says, well, okay, what's the probability of that bus being late? Well, what do we know? We know that all the outcomes, if we add them together, they must equal 1. And so all we need to do now is have a look at that. The probability of being early on time, when we add those together, is 0.8. We subtract that from 1, and that will tell us that the probability of the bus being late, of course, is 0.2. So probabilities adding to 1. The challenge always in this is making sure that your workings out are carefully done, and you'll also find in this sometimes when probabilities, particularly in this type of equation or this type of scenario, are given to us as a fraction. So you've got to make sure when you're adding your fractions that you remember how to do that by using a common denominator, and then how to subtract that from 1. And that's it for now.